story.
America is open for business. That's President Donald Trump's message to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. He says it's a great time for businesses to invest in the U.S. now that taxes have been cut and his administration continues to roll back regulations.
We are freeing our businesses and workers so they can thrive and flourish as never before. We are creating an environment that attracts capital, invites investment, and rewards production.
Here at home, more news on the Russia investigation. The New York Times reporting in June, the president ordered the firing of special counsel Robert Mueller, but backed off when the White House attorney threatened to resign. The president calls that report fake news.
Undocumented! I'm not afraid!
Meanwhile, the White House releasing a framework to address the Dreamers. The plan includes $25 billion in border security, limits chain migration, and ends the visa lottery system in exchange for a path to citizenship for nearly 2 million young immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally by their parents. And in Davos, the president's first meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu since he recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
People say that this pushes peace backward. I say it pushes peace forward.
Days after Palestinian leaders snubbed Vice President Mike Pence during his visit to the Middle East, Trump threatened to pull their funding unless they talk with Israel.
We give them tremendous amounts, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. That money is on the table. Because why should we do that as a country if they're doing nothing for us?
Palestinians call the funding an American obligation. The Council of Europe denounced Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, but for the first time also called on the Palestinian Authority to stop payments to imprisoned terrorists and their families. As for the president, he has a full plate in Davos, including a chance to boast about the nation's growing economy and booming stock market. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
Well, I want you to hear that line that the Palestinians said, that our funding of them is our obligation. Pay special attention to that because that comes out of this whole victimhood mentality. It comes out of some sort of, America's got an obligation to us. We don't have any obligation to them. This is all humanitarian aid, and but then beyond the humanitarian aid, the support for their police, the support for their government, USAID's $5 billion since 1994. And to have them come back and say, well, you're doing all this because you're obligated to us. No, we're not. Then you underline it again with they're using that money, they're using our taxpayer money to fund terrorism. So not only they're saying it's our obligation, but you have an obligation to fund us as we try to kill Israelis. Well, no more. Let's say no more to this. This has got to stop. This has got to end. We can't have this kind of activity where U.S. tax dollars are going to terrorists. No.